Hello, guys, and welcome. I did say if there was any updates a couple of days ago on the Matheus Nunes to Manchester City uh, rumours and things like that, that I'd let you know. And there's two updates in this video, but I'll make it as quick as I can. And that is that Matheus Nunes, you know, wants to join Manchester City. He's made that obvious. Manchester City have come in with a £60 million bid, so they've upped their bid from, I believe it was a £47 million bid that was rejected, to 60 million, which is obviously where I said roughly they'd probably have to pay, because I don't think Wolves were going to accept anything in the 50s. I always said, and I said to you a couple of days ago in the video I did on my channel, that they're going to be looking for maybe 60, 70 million. Manchester City have come back and obviously improved their offer, and the new offer is 60 million. That was actually submitted yesterday, I do believe. So they're sort of trying to now match where Wolves are at on their valuation, which is, like I said, 60, 70 million, somewhere around that ballpark is what they want, or what they would value Matheus Nunes at. So, obviously, City don't want to give up on Matheus Nunes. He's obviously a top talent. Like I said, obviously it was disappointing to see him get a red card the other week. That's kept him out of this weekend games that have just been played. But Manchester City's number one target for the midfield now is definitely Matheus Nunes. They've made that known, especially now it looks like João Cancelo is also going to be leaving on loan to Barcelona. That could bring more money in as well, because they will have to pay a loan fee and things like that. But there's another twist to the story which happened, I read it about 10-15 minutes ago, and that is that Matheus Nunes has now officially gone on strike at Wolves to force through the move to Manchester City. He's effectively told the club he's not going to be training, he's not going to be coming into training, he's not going to be playing matches. He wants to leave, he wants to join Manchester City. And for me, I always dislike it when a footballer does this, to try and force a move away from his current club. It's like there's different ways to go about it. You could just simply hand in a transfer request and say, look, I want to go. I will be extremely disappointed if this move falls through. But I just feel, for me, to turn around to your club and say, that's it, I'm not training, I'm done, I'm not coming in, you either sell me or I don't play. I just think it's so disrespectful to the club, to your current manager who is in charge, which is obviously Gary O'Neill. He's not been there very long. All that stuff that happened with Julian Lopetegui 4 days before the season started hasn't helped Wolves, and now they've got things like this going off. I mean, for some Wolves fans, they'll probably feel like this has been an absolute nightmare of a summer transfer window for them. Your manager leaving the club 4 days before the season starts. Now, probably your best midfielder is now saying, I want out. I'm not coming into training. I want to leave the club. If you don't let me leave the club, I'm simply not going to play. Which I think it is. I think it's wrong. And I do think there should be something that is in place where, if a player refuses to play for his club that owns his contract, that he is contracted to, that he should have to play for because he's contracted to that club, I do think there should be a thing in place where, if that happens, the player should be either fined heavily, and I think he should be banned for games for the amount of training sessions he missed that he should be at, for the amount of games he's going to miss that he would have been picked for. I think he should be banned. I do. You've seen, obviously, the betting bans, and with Ivan Toney and how big of a ban he's got. Okay, betting is completely different. It shouldn't happen in football, but this is another thing that shouldn't happen in football. Someone that is contracted to your club that you rely on should not be allowed to just turn around and say, well, I'm not coming in then. If you do that in any normal job in the world, you're sacked. And I think he should be fined. I think players who do that should be fined, and I think they should be fined heavily. And I do believe they should be banned from games. I do think for, say, every game they miss that they're on strike, I think it should be at least a 3-4 game ban, even a 5 game ban. Because Matheus Nunes has only just joined Wolves last summer for a huge fee, and now he's telling the club, I'm not coming in. You know, I just find it disgusting, and I find it so disrespectful to your club. Wolves have put the faith in you last summer to bring you in to the club, and then you're turning around and saying just because you want to go to a bigger club like Manchester City, you're not coming in. Okay, I understand. Not many players, if you do play for a club like Wolves, would turn down the chance to join Manchester City. But like I said a moment ago, there's ways to go about it. You don't just say, I'm not coming in. So he is effectively now out of the picture for Wolves, which means now Wolves are going to have to more than likely accept the 60 million from Manchester City and try and find a midfielder that they can find now to replace Matheus Nunes within the next 7 days of the transfer window, which is obviously all that's left. So yeah, I would, if I were the FA, that's something I would be looking at. If a player goes on strike, they should be fined, and you know, if they do move club, then they can't play the first 5 games, or even the first month of games, because I just think it's a stupid thing. Anyway, guys, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. What would you do if you were Wolves? What would you do with Matheus Nunes? Let me know in those comments. If you did enjoy, obviously please do leave a like, and please subscribe for more videos like this. Anyway, guys, I'll see you soon.